Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about how ServiceNow migrated SAP to Azure 3x faster. And the agenda for today is I'll go through the goals, our journey, the value outcomes, the next steps, and the key takeaways. Before I start, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Venkat Lakshminarayanan. I lead the corporate IT, infrastructure engineering, and operations at ServiceNow. And my portfolio covers everything on the backend infrastructure. First, let me open up by sharing a few details about the scope of our IT operations. As a ServiceNow IT, we are customer zero. We testing anything we release to our customers even before it gets into a GA stage. So all the applications I'm talking about, the modules we are using in ServiceNow later in this session, they are all used in a pre-release version. So we are always one version ahead of our customers. With that, we have around 330 plus offices, and we're around 14,000 employees now. And then being a SaaS company, our focus is to have most of our business critical on SaaS. So we have around 10 plus SaaS applications, and then in total 35 business critical applications. We also use all the three major cloud providers, but in IT, we predominantly on Azure. So we are almost 99% on Azure. On about physical data centers, we had 4 when we started the project. I'll talk about later where we are today in the session. Talk about the goals. ServiceNow is a fast-growing company. In order to accommodate the business growth, we need to have a scalable infrastructure that can scale on demand in terms of compute, storage, bandwidth, while maintaining the same security posture. So we decided that, okay, so we need to migrate our business critical applications to a cloud where we can scale on demand. And that's how this journey started. So the third goal for our journey here is that we need to have 4.9 availability, which is very important for the business. And then while providing the same data integrity and a seamless user experience. What I meant by seamless experience is whatever the experience the users are having today with the applications which are on-prem, they should have the same level of performance, experience, or better. So our journey. Before I share our journey, I want to take a moment to share on a high-level details of the 4 key modules that we used from Now platform to enable us to deliver this 3x faster. So this is a high-level diagram of what are the modules of ServiceNow platform. So on this project, we used IT service management, IT operations management, IT business management, software asset management, and also we used cloud insights to optimize post-migration. So let's talk about our phased approach. So we split our approach into 3 major phases: so pre-migration, migration, and post-migration. So this slide, I'm going to talk about the pre-migration, which took around approximately 6 months. The reason being is we have to go through the platform selection, either picking up we want to go through AWS or Azure or GCP. And then I also need to make sure that my team has the right skills to support what are the platform we're going to choose. And also, I need to have an accurate inventory of what are the applications we have and what is their dependencies, how we're going to migrate them. And then have a full-blown plan for testing, architecture design, testing, and so on. And apart from that, we also, the key part is also having the right licensing, because there's so many license models you have, but you already have invested on licenses on-prem. So you need to have a clear picture of what is going to migrate, what type of licenses we're going to use, and we spend the time to actually come out to that. So the roles involved are we have our configuration analysts who are our CMDB experts, and then we had architects, application owners, project managers, and business testers. So the value what we bought here is, instead of a company of our size usually will have a third party coming in, do this as a turnkey project, and the planning phase itself will probably might take almost 2 years or probably 18 months. what we did was we did the whole thing in 6 months, and also we didn't want to bring a third party to do a turnkey delivery. What we did instead, what we did was that we actually had our in-house team to do the entire migration, but we augmented people from the third party. Which the reason we did this is because we can retain the knowledge post-migration. So we saved almost 16 months in terms of planning, and which is 3x faster. And then also we were able to end up saving almost $2 million in using fewer resources, as well as doing it much faster. Phase 2. So this is the actual migration, which took 15 days of migration. It's not 15 consecutive days because we were able to break it down. And here we used ServiceNow's change management module. We used event and incident management modules, and also we used ServiceNow's PPM module for project management and tracking. So what we did was we initially started off with the sandbox migration, and then subprod, QA, UAT, all this landscape we moved one by one. We did the production in the end. The reason we did it is when we started off with non-prod in landscapes, we were able to figure out how much time it takes. Is there any problem we had? And we ended up having some issues along the way, but we gained so much knowledge that when we did the migration, it was very smooth, and we were able to finish the migration much quicker than we actually planned. So what's the value we got? We did it 2x faster, and also we were able to actually save around $650,000 in terms of productivity because our migration went very well. Let's talk about post-migration. It took us 15 days. We have forklifted a lot of applications, moved them as an IaaS to the cloud, but we need to get the inventory back once it goes to the cloud. That means we need to discover it. We need to make sure CIs are intact and has a new information, and also has all the service mappings in place. So initially, on the pre-migration phase, when we used our inventory and service mapping, we also used Microsoft's MoveApp tool to validate our dependencies. And the same thing we did post-migration. We want to make sure that all our dependencies are intact and we have all the CA-CMD relationship in place. And since we migrated, forklifted everything to as an IaaS, post-migration, we also ran ServiceNow's Cloud Insight to get recommendations on how we can optimize. So net, the value is like we were able to do it 2x faster, and we saved around $100,000 in terms of fewer project hours. What are the outcomes? Let's review our outcomes of this migration. Let's talk about value outcomes. First, we had 100% visibility into our cost, and also we had 100% visibility for the health of our instances. And then we moved 3x faster with the same team, and then also we saved up $2.8 million in terms of project cost. Let's review the goals. So we met all our 3 high-level goals. One is that the infrastructure is scalable on demand. We can scale any of the components, include compute, storage, or net bandwidth on demand. And then we migrate the entire SAP BI landscape. And then we also provided a seamless migration where we were able to complete the migration within 2 days rather than the 3 days plan, reducing the downtime. And also we have 4.9 availability of service. And also all the data we maintain the data integrity, and we didn't lose any efficacy. So let's talk about next steps. We have to migrate our entire footprint to public cloud. Since this project was done 18 months back, I already completed that first step of migrating everything to the public cloud. And the next phase is that we wanted to actually test an heterogeneous cloud environment. What I mean by that is that we want to run production on one public cloud and the DR on another public cloud, and be able to switch seamlessly between these two. The seamlessly means within our RPO, RTO. And then optimize our cloud spend, which we already did, but it's a continuous process. We are using ServiceNow's Cloud Insight module to be able to optimize our cloud spend. So what are the key takeaways from this session? One, you need to have a full visibility of your inventory. That means you had to have a very good, comprehensive, accurate CMDB. And then you need to have a service mapping. That means understanding the dependency between all the CIs. And the third one is you need to have a very good inventory of your assets. Hardware for depreciation because you're shutting down the data centers, and also the licenses you own, what licenses that can be migrated to the public cloud. These three, the first step is very, very important, because if you don't get this right, you'll end up spending a lot of money over the period of the project. The second one is project planning. Project planning is very important. Having the right resource, having the building the right test cases, and improving your team skills is very, very important for a successful delivery of the project. The third is predominantly on making sure that your migration is seamless and it works. So that means you have a very good testing, and post-migration, you need to make sure you're monitoring all your new infrastructure, and you also have automation so that you can provision, deprovision on demand. That will also save you money in the long term. Thanks for having me today, and thanks for your time. If you want to learn more about our Now and how we use our own products, you can visit our Now website, or you can visit our showcase page during Microsoft Ignite. Or else you can actually even contact your sales team, and they can set up time with us if you want to know more about how we technically did, how we used our products, how we migrated. And I also wanted to thank the entire Microsoft team for helping us in this journey. They made it very easier for us to migrate in a very complicated ERP system to Azure pretty easily. Thank you once again. And again, if you want to contact me, my email address is here. You can reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you with any technical questions you might have. Thank you.